Hello, welcome. We are finishing the signatures on this album, and we have only 2 pieces of paper left. They're both out of your 22 pack. It is going to be the piece of paper that has this image across the front of it. I have fussy cut this face out, and I was only keeping one of the peacock feathers. It was just too much to try to include all this frilly stuff. So I came up around the face, around the floral, around that one peacock feather, and I came down and around. These being the last 2 sheets, I'm trying to maximize as much of the decorations as possible. So I saved the bottom piece so that it says, "Let the show begin." I mounted this on a lightweight board so there was a little bit of stiffness to it, and it's going to go right next to this. This piece here came out of our scraps. You should have one left, and I cut it to fit straight across the top. Now these 2 floral clusters, I found a cluster that had some more flowers here, but these 2 matched, and so I'm popping them up. I've inked them and popped them up so a little bit of elevation. So this is going to be a very quick, very simple, actually very easy. Simple with regards to you've got to cut this out. Now if you don't want to do this, that's fine. You can find another element to put here if that's what you want to do. Your paper size for this back panel is going to be 8 1/8 across. So 8 1/8 across. And it's going to be 8 3/4 in its height. Like I said, I cut this out of scraps, and it's just going to fit right in here across the top. I might have to do some trimming because it is not exactly perfect. So I'll wait until I get it on there to do that. This bottom pocket is going to be a large one because I really wanted to get as much of this as I could. But to also give you a pocket that would hold a few things, we're going to wrap some flaps around the back side. So this pocket is going to measure at 9 1/4 inches. 9 1/4 by 4 1/2. And you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch on 3 of the ends. You're going to cut diagonal on your corners, and you're going to put tape back here. Now, if you want to create a little bit bigger of a pocket for some depth, you're going to want to add 1/8 of an inch all the way around so that you have that little gusset. I don't know that it's necessary, but that's how you can get a little deeper pocket if that's what you want. So I think first things first, I'm going to glue this on so I can figure out how much of it I need to trim off here. Playing with as many of the elements in this collection as possible. Okay, so I'm trimming about 1/8 of an inch off this. And by taking it on this end, it does kind of balance this out a little bit better down here. Okay, so now I'm going to lay in my pocket. I'm going to lay it down here. Quit it. Okay. Come on. doggone it, I got that too far down. All right, so let's pull this up a little bit. Much better, much better, much better. I'll put some glue on this so it will start sticking right away. And then I'm going to glue in. It will lay down. Get some weight on this. It will lay down. Okay. And then I'm going to add these right now. And then we're just going to add it right here. I think I'm going to come just done. Your biggest thing is going to be cutting this out, but it is done. Okay, let's turn it over. Let's get our tape out. I'm going to use 1/2 inch this time because it is a small signature. It's not very thick. And this uses up literally every available piece of paper out of that 22 pack and out of the main cord pack. Now, I mentioned that you have a lot of circles left. It's entirely up to you. I'll tell you what I was thinking about doing, and then you can decide if it's something you want to go ahead and do. I kind of played with it a little bit, but I didn't like the result, the end result. If you cut these out and you mount them back to back, punch a hole, feed a brad through, and then you're going to cover that brad with one of these. But you can mount several of them, feed that brad through, and then you can twist these open and put photos or journaling on the back. But what I didn't like was they got lost in this pocket. But that might be something you want to do for some of the other pockets. So that's entirely up to you. Otherwise, you have a lot of those left over. But again, it's your album. You can make any necessary changes that you want, or don't do something that I've done. Just keep in mind, it's your album. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get this put in. Be the last one. And it's going to come in and sit just like this. I want to thank you for playing along. And head on over to Scrap and Create and share some love with them. They're quite generous with me on the papers that they send me. I've got a stack full of collection papers here to make additional albums. And I'll make an announcement on my community page what's coming up. So if you have subscribed, you should get notice. Or if you haven't subscribed, you can just simply check that community page for announcements of what I'll be playing with coming up. All right, so look at that. We are done. And you know, I used this earlier to fill in these gaps, and it kind of plays rather nicely into this. One of the reasons why I used it. We have a unique cut and trim, and we have maximized our pockets, we've maximized our images, and I do hope that you enjoyed this album. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would love it if you would. So there you go, Masquerade. Until the next one, bye-bye.